Welcome, welcome, welcome to another monthly market. I'm the happy salesman, here with 10 more legendary items. This month of All Hallows Eve, I am here to bring you a series of cursed and creepy items that will get your spine tingling. Now let's not waste any more time. Time to see what's on my cart today. First, we have an interesting series of items from the darkest of Fairy Plains. One without powers of its own, but functions as a form of currency. Leng Rubies. These rubies are mined by the slaves of the plateaus, and are carved to be absolutely flawless. They have little effect by themselves, besides being able to plane shift to an unknown plane and to cause strange dreams. But again, their main purpose is a currency. A currency usually paid for in blood, because Leng does not pay for objects, but concepts and ideas. You think a trade contract is bad? Wait till you see what effects you have on the world when you trade with an actually malicious plane. Because of this, whenever these jewels are found within treasure hoards in tombs, historians and archivists tend to look the other way, especially when it comes to legendary heroes. Don't want to stain their precious reputation, right? Next, another not one-of-a-kind item, used for the blackest of trades. Soul jars. It is unknown when the first soul jar was made, just that some interactions between the soul-eating demons and the soul-stealing night hags led to someone realizing the value enough to turn demand into supply. Ancient story says that demigoddess of the night hags, Alazra, the Dream Eater, is who we can credit for the soul market. But again, origins unknown. Usually a soul still needs to be trapped first, but once it's in the jar, it stops its long march to the boneyard until it is released. Or eaten. However, the jar is quite delicate. Its defenses turn into keeping the soul in, and a nice whack on the outside should be enough to make a demon go to bed hungry that night. Damon, you know what I meant. Now we move on to the singular artifacts. Or not. A singular artifact that draws on the power of a continuous power of darkness. The Song of Extinction. In travel, you will hear the death reel known as the Song of Extinction from various places. Well, not here. Most have trouble listening it the first time around, you know? But what I have for you is not the song somehow related to Zon-Kuthon and the Ketons. What we have before us today was a music box built by a Moragni cultist of the Dark God. The music box plays a snippet of the Song of Suffering, just enough for a bard to be able to play the song themselves, which allows them to make the very ground part beneath their opponent's feet before it collapses again, burying them, with the user gaining 1 year of life for every life lost. However, this is but a snippet of the song still being composed in the plane of shadows. If this section is already so destructive, the deities help us for those who hear the completed piece. From just farther north, in the deserts of Rahadom, another artifact lies lost. The Ghoul Stone. This stone was made by the cultists of the demon lord Cabriri. In the land without religion, a small cult formed the demon lord, with its greatest protector given this stone, not being told what it did. It grants strength to the wearer who commits cannibalism, but slowly drains the strength of those who abstain from eating their own kind. When the former wearer started to feel drained while away from the cult, he panicked and fled farther and farther as his strength was drained more and more. The god's final resting place and the Ghoul Stone are now lost in the desert. We have cultists, the local hunters of religious artifacts, and other interested parties looking for the stone. And its potentially undead guardian. Finally, let's end our little side trip to ground by looking at a place one would expect to find a fall artifact to be found. But not an artifact like this. The nation is Geb, and the artifact is the red skull of Chast. Edric Chast was a human necromancer who, despite having a pulse, became an impressive politician loved by many, with rumors he might become a bloodlord someday. However, a political rival accused the necromancer of being a traitor and attacked Edric when he could not produce proof. To many people's sorrow, he was not able to be raised as an undead. The reason for this is, he was a traitor, a secret worshipper of Pharasma, who was trying to change the nation from within. The ruby skull was a family heirloom, a human skull covered in red lacquer, which functions as a regular dark skull. As regular as you might call a dark skull. Anyway, Edric turned this fell artifact into a hallowed artifact, able to cast the field of Hallow and give the benefits of Deathward. Strangely, a non-evil artifact on this cursed list. And not the last either, but one step at a time. Now we're best to find the darkest of curses to the nations of Ustalav, correct? First on our order, from the place dominated by fear, is the legendary Invidian Eye. Originally crafted in Thessalonia, a fallen nobleman turned adventurer Marcel Malot found the necklace and gave it to his wife. Within a month, she was dead. He was heartbroken, but he found love again and gifted her the necklace. In a month, she too was dead. This happened 4 more times before the guy realized that the necklace might be cursed. And cursed it was. You see, it was crafted by the Rune of Envy herself, enchanted so that if the lover she gifted it to gave it to another woman, the results would be tragic. Now, the gem is tuned to Malot, and will result in the death of any human woman who takes possession of the gem. So now the gem sits in the National Museum, along with other artifacts which, it being Ustalav, do not want to leave. From noble accidents to noble plots, we have the knife known as the Traitor's Blade. This +2 Ghost Touch dagger was designed to kill one person, a goal, which it accomplished. Lywald Oldronti was a man who grew up hating the corrupt nobility around him and his father, and dreamed of a day when Ustalav was free of them. This was not so outlandish a dream, as his father was a prince, and he was next in line. Inspired by the writings passing through Gault and Andran at the time, he decided that his first and only act as prince would be to dissolve the nobility. Unfortunately, he was not close-lipped as he should have been, and soon every noble was clamoring for a way to stop his rise to power. 4 nobles found a way, a knife designed to kill a soul completely, not only killing the soon-to-be prince, but assuring he would never come back. However, the knife did not work as advertised, and instead trapped the soul in the body, neither alive nor undead, unable to be freed even by a wish. However, the blade is easy enough to pull from the body, freeing the soul. Likely now a ghost from the trauma of being trapped in one's body. A likely vengeful ghost. And let's just say Ustalav recently lost a few minor nobles. Next is one of my personal favorites, so let me ask you, would you like a quick hero reading? You might want to count your cards first, lest you find yourself playing with the Silent Aviary. This at first appears to be an ordinary deck of hero cards, with two exceptions. The first, the art on the card depicts that of songbirds, and beautifully done, I might add. The second is the count. If you count the cards facing forward, you will count the normal 54, but from the back, you'll find they count 55. You see, this deck plays by slightly different rules. If you do not like your reading, you can replace your cards and change your fate. However, doing so brings about the risk of drawing the cage and having you trapped in your fate. Literally. As in a 250-meter shape of nothing, similar to the inside of a bag of holding, with only a day's worth of air, and strewn with the corpses of its former victims. So I ask you again, do you want to risk what fate has in store for you? Now, we step away from Ustalav to the Isle of Terror, and Ustalav, and the Darklands. The Whispering Tyrant has worn many hats, but truly, he has only worn one, the Horns of Naraga. When the tyrant first attempted to claim the island for his own, he found it was populated by 3 black dragons, a mother and her 2 children. While he was not yet powerful enough to defeat the mother himself, he was powerful enough to trick the children, turn them into ravenous, and have them fight the mother. One of these children, Naraga, managed to drag the mother into the plane of shadows, while the eldest of the dragons remains unknown. Naraga's broken body was repurposed, with the horns becoming the tyrant's crown. The Horns of Naraga reduces damage from positive energy and acid, can cause negative energy damage to your opponents, and, if you're truly desperate, can transform into a full black dragon. Like I said last time the tyrants came up, feel free to take it if you think you can remove the tyrant's own crown. That I would love to see. And now, let's look at one final item that I'd be remiss if I missed, especially with the recent release of the Grand Bazaar. A haunted doll. This doll was made for the daughter of a Chelish diplomat to Galt, Ninahu Adrexi. Yes, I said Chelish in Galt. You know where this is going. A little girl placed upon a guillotine, an angry mob around her, the final blade above. As the blade came down, the doll gained life and shattered the blade, allowing its former owner to escape. It was soon found by another child, and has been passed from owner to owner ever since. Regardless of whether this creature belongs on an items video or, as of last week, a characters video, our little puppet has 2 powers besides being alive. When its left eye is pressed, it gains the power of an unmovable rod, allowing it to hold up to any damage to it, and hold back their enemies. The other is the ability to use a skill in harm's way to stand between the attacker and those who they protect. Abilities which allow their charge to get away safely, while inevitably leaving the doll behind. For a list of curses, we end on a rather sweet-hearted item, but one which is cursed in its own way nonetheless. And that is my stock this week. I'm tapped out and ready to hit the road. Hopefully I was able to provide you and your players with an item which will give you a cursed time this All Hallows Eve and beyond. Is a year-round activity for some people. Either way, Loremaster returns next week to finish this month with a truly nightmaric organization, with many a cursed item they have collected. Or burned. Hope you enjoy.